In the heart of the Japanese archipelago, where ancient traditions and modernity coexist in a delicate balance, a fascinating and often mysterious dynamic emerges: Japanese women's interest in foreigners. This phenomenon has captured the attention of both locals and visitors. But what really attracts Japanese women to foreigners? Is it their exoticism, their sense of humor, or perhaps the attributes they offer in a relationship? And more importantly, are these women looking for a fleeting adventure or something more serious and lasting? These questions invite us to further explore this intriguing aspect of Japanese culture, offering a revealing look along the way. Join us and discover the answers to these questions at the end of our journey through love life in Japan. What do you think Japanese women look for in foreigners? An adventure or something more serious? Share your opinion in the comments.
In the Japanese archipelago, there is a peculiar and fascinating culture around extramarital affairs and infidelity. Despite the reputation of being a conservative and traditionalist society, parallel love affairs outside of marriage are quite normalized and widespread, although always handled with extreme discretion and under a cloak of secrecy. The key to this apparent contradiction lies in avoiding public exposure and losing face in front of others at all costs. For the Japanese, being discovered or exposed in an embarrassing, inappropriate, or reprehensible situation, it is a cause of deep anguish, humiliation, and painful social criticism. What neighbors, friends, and acquaintances will say frightens and torments Japanese people, since personal and even family image and reputation are at stake. For this reason, occasional, casual, and fleeting relationships are lived in the most absolute secrecy and in the strictest privacy under the motto, eyes that do not see, heart that does not feel. If no one finds out, it's like it didn't happen. Unfortunately, we live in a hypocritical society where we judge what we secretly also practice, says the Japanese proverb. This philosophy of maintaining appearances and protecting personal reputation is a cornerstone of Japanese culture, influencing many aspects of daily life, including intimate relationships. This relaxed concept of fidelity begins with Japanese youth. Since university days, young people see relationships and casual sexual encounters as something normal, a private and intimate activity that does not imply anything serious or lasting commitment, as long as there are no feelings of love involved. The phrase, "do what you want with your underwear but never fall in love," reflects this widespread mentality very well. For many Japanese, casual sex and one-night stands are acceptable behavior, as long as deep emotional ties are not developed. This pragmatic and emotionally distant philosophy contrasts strongly with Western Judeo-Christian morality, where relationships outside of marriage are often considered sinful and taboo. In the case of married couples, it is an open secret that with the passing of the years, the arrival of children and routine, sexual intimacy cools down and even disappears completely. It is in this context of passionate uprooting where the temptation to seek extramarital affairs to satisfy unsatisfied desires and repressed lusts strongly arises. Adventures that always take place in a parallel universe, hidden from the prying eyes of the environment. These relationships usually occur between acquaintances, study or work colleagues, neighbors, childhood friends, or close family members. The places conducive to the beginning of passionate venting are usually night bars, canteens, or any other spaces with a relaxed atmosphere and little moral modesty, where alcohol helps to dissipate the last resistance and lose inhibitions. Although from a Western perspective, such behavior may seem bizarre, depraved, or reprehensible, the truth is that the data reveal that infidelity is more frequent and widespread in Japan than in countries like Spain, Finland, or even the very Catholic Italy. The secrecy and repeated omerta around this issue mean that in some way be normalized and not seen as such reprehensible behavior, because as another Japanese proverb says, if the neighbors don't find out, it's as if it didn't happen. Some theories suggest that Japanese women would be much more faithful and modest than their husbands when it comes to extramarital affairs. Others, on the contrary, defend just the opposite thesis, that Japanese women are not as puritanical as they are portrayed. Despite these differences of opinion, the truth is that female behavior in Japan regarding fidelity is also influenced by the same norms of discretion and secrecy that govern male behavior. Women who decide to embark on extramarital affairs do so with the same care and discretion to avoid scandal and public shame. Furthermore, in the Japanese work environment, known for its long work hours and strong emphasis on camaraderie and team activities outside of work hours, numerous opportunities arise for the emergence of extramarital relationships. After-work social gatherings, known as nomikai, are common and often involve alcohol consumption, which can lead to a relaxation of inhibitions and behaviors that would otherwise be considered inappropriate. This environment can encourage people to form more intimate connections with their colleagues, which in some cases can lead to extramarital affairs. Japanese society, despite its outward appearance of order and conformity, hides an emotional complexity and an ability to manage the duality between public and private life. Infidelities, handled with great secrecy, are just one manifestation of this duality. While the outside world sees a disciplined and traditionalist society in the private sphere, people find ways to satisfy their wants and needs in ways that do not overtly challenge social norms. Technology has also played a role in how infidelities are handled in Japan. With the rise of dating apps and social media, it has become easier for people to seek and find extramarital relationships without leaving physical traces that could be discovered by their partners. These platforms offer a degree of anonymity and privacy that makes it easier to manage relationships outside of marriage without the risk of being easily discovered. Likewise, so-called love hotels, establishments designed specifically for couples seeking privacy for encounters, are an important component of this culture of discretion. These hotels offer rooms that can be rented for a few hours and are equipped with all the necessary amenities for an intimate encounter, ensuring the privacy and anonymity of their clients. The proliferation of these hotels reflects the demand for spaces where people can carry out their extramarital affairs without fear of being discovered. Infidelities are also present in Japanese popular culture, such as in manga, anime, and movies. These performances often approach the subject with a mix of drama and understanding, reflecting the complexity of human emotions and the difficulties of maintaining fidelity in a society that places so much emphasis on appearance and reputation. These narratives offer a window into how the Japanese perceive and handle infidelity, showing both the emotional consequences and management strategies. In conclusion, infidelity in Japan is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon that reflects tensions between social norms, personal expectations, and the emotional and physical needs of individuals. Although from a Western perspective it may seem contradictory or morally ambiguous, within the Japanese cultural context, these practices are managed in ways that minimize social conflict and preserve personal harmony and reputation. Discretion, secrecy, and careful management of appearances are key elements in how the Japanese handle infidelities, allowing a coexistence between personal desire and social expectations. It's time to answer the questions we posed at the beginning. Japanese women often find a combination of qualities in foreigners that they find attractive: the exotic appearance, the relaxed and fun attitude, and a perception of openness and freedom that contrasts with some of the more rigid norms of their own culture. However, the purpose of these relationships can vary significantly. Some Japanese people look to foreigners for an exciting, temporary adventure, a way to escape social pressures and experience something new and different. On the other hand, many also seriously consider the possibility of a long-term relationship, attracted by the prospect of a more equal connection and less influenced by strict Japanese cultural expectations. The answer, therefore, is not unique and depends on the individual circumstances and desires of each woman. What is clear, however, is that these relationships reflect a mixture of the search for personal freedom and the hope of finding something authentic and meaningful, in a context where the exotic meets the everyday.